and welcome to another video. In this one, we're going to have a look at how you can start an estimate in Buildxact, as well as how you can capture estimate-related information within the estimate details screen. We're also going to have a look at where you can save estimate-related files and notes. And just a quick mention, this video follows on from our leads and getting started video, so please have a look at that one if you have not already. When we're looking to start an estimate in Buildxact, there are two main places that we can get this done. The first being by clicking on the Estimates tab on the left-hand side here, and then hitting Create New, which is certainly the most obvious place to start an estimate. What I did want to point out, however, and this follows on from our last video about leads, is that you can also start an estimate from any lead that you have. I've got a lead here, and if I go into it, I'll essentially have this tab here called Estimate, which aims to show me all of the estimates that are attached to this lead currently. Now I can actually hit the Create New button from here. The advantage of that is that all the information that I've placed into my lead, including the type of project, the works location, as well as some of the client details, will then be automatically populated in that estimate that I create. So certainly a great way to go, and definitely the way that we encourage people to create their estimates. But that being said, I'm going to go to my Estimates tab here and actually create it from this point. Now, as soon as I hit Create New, and whenever you create an estimate in Buildxact, Buildxact will ask you what template would you like to use as a basis for your new estimate. Now you can think of a template as being a save state or a format that you can start your new estimate from. And a template can have a lot of information saved into it so that you don't need to manually recreate everything from scratch each time you start a new estimate. So these templates will have items like the line items themselves, the cost centers as well, and can really be used to speed up the process of estimating, essentially so you don't need to start from a blank estimate every time you create one. Most new users to Buildxact will use one of our default templates as a starting point, with the idea that down the track you can create your own estimate templates for different types of jobs that you do and use them to speed up the process of getting quotes out the door. Now, if you're interested in creating your own templates, basically you can do this by using any estimate that you have completed. And once you're in that estimate, one of the drop-down options is Create Template from this estimate. So if you do click on that and hit Confirm, when we now move to creating a new estimate, that job there is existing as a template. It's got prices and cost centers loaded into it, so we can use that as a starting point. But for now, I'm going to use one of the Buildxact sample templates, in fact, the single-story house one. And when I click on it, we'll have a preview of what items and what cost centers are included in this estimate template. On the left here, we can see all the different cost centers, and we can open up the items. If there were prices in this template, we'd be able to see them as well as the quantities. But for now, as we're starting a new estimate from one of our sample templates, we don't have any prices or quantities in as yet. Now, on the right-hand side, we've got some options here in terms of what we're going to name our new estimate. I'm going to come across and call this Buildxact Demonstration, which is effectively going to be how our estimate is named within the system. We've also got the building type here. We need to fill in a works location. And finally, we need to connect this to a client. So I'm going to be using Buildxact Nails. I just want to point out that if we started this estimate from a lead, all of this information would already be filled in. So again, starting an estimate from a lead is probably the best way to go to minimize the amount of information you need to enter. Now that I've entered those points in, I'm going to click on Use Template. And basically now we've created our new estimate called Buildxact Demonstration. And we're on the Estimate Details tab, which is the first tab in the estimating process. On the top right-hand side, we've got the works location that's been entered in. This is a very important point that we need to ensure is entered, as we will use the works location in the following screens to define the site address. It'll be used for the delivery addresses for purchase orders and work orders on when this progresses to a job. And if you don't fill it out, a lot of the documents Buildxact produces will have a blank location address, which is not ideal. So please ensure that you fill this out. On the left-hand side, we have the estimate details panel here. You can do things like rename the reference number, which is automatically applied. So if I wanted to call this one quote 6076, I could certainly do that from here. We can also change the name of the estimate. We can have a look at the building type as well. And if I scroll even further down, we've got some options about the client details as well. Now, generally, when we're starting a new estimate, this client address will be empty. So please ensure to fill this out as well. We don't automatically assume that the clients will live at the works location, so there is a separate address for the client down here. If I move even further down, we'll see some other areas that we can save our estimate related information to. The first thing that I want to point out is this notes section. It can be used for collaborative communication within the estimate itself, or can just be used to record any information that's specific to this estimate, essentially. Every time you create a note, there will be a time-stamped notification across the bottom that tells you which user in this account created the note and when they created it as well. If I move further down, there's also an area to house any estimate-related documents too. You can simply click on this box here, or you can drag files from another application on top of this box in order to upload any documents that are relevant to this estimate. I'm going to use a picture of a house as an example. Every time you load a document on here, it'll ask you to create a folder if one's not already created. If I click Upload now, that document's going to sit on the Estimate Details tab, readily accessible for any sort of referencing purpose. Now, I just wanted to also point out that if I created this estimate from a lead and that lead had any notes or any documents, they would automatically show up here in the Estimate Details tab. So just another reason why it's a great idea to create a lead first and create an estimate from that lead. So the final thing that I wanted to point out is if you haven't created the estimate from a lead, on the Estimate Details tab, there's information about what lead is connected to the estimate. And at the moment, there's nothing assigned to this estimate specifically. So all I really need to do is click on Link to a Lead from here. And I can effectively create a link between the estimate and a lead after I've created an estimate. You just simply select the lead that's relevant, or you can create a new lead and then click on Link. Now that I've done that, the lead is showing up here as being connected to this estimate, and I can now use elements of the software like the client portal. So great idea to have your leads connected to your estimate. It enables a lot of automatic transfer of information, and it also enables you to be able to use the client portal, which we do have a separate video on. So that is the process of creating a new estimate. As always, if you have any questions, please hit the Need Help button where you can access our FAQs and our training content. Thank you very much.